Standing Simmer here today, coming at you with a speed build in The Sims 4. Happy Monday for one thing, because I believe that is the day you're seeing this video. This is a super special speed build because it is another collab here on my channel. Guys, I've really been enjoying these collabs here recently, and I've so far had the opportunity, been able to do so with some pretty awesome people. And so I'm super excited to bring you another one today. So today's collab is going to be one with Pastella Pixels here on YouTube. I really consider her a good friend of mine. She is awesome, and I can't wait to tell you guys a little bit more about her after I tell you kind of what we're doing today. So today's speed build is awesome for a couple of reasons. Like I said, not only is it a collab, but it's for a house that ends up being one of my favorite houses that I think I've ever built on my channel. It's the first time I've ever attempted this more or less farmhouse style, which you'll see slowly take shape, hopefully, as we go. Hopefully you get to the end of this video and also kind of agree that it looks like it could be a farmhouse style build, but that's what I was going for. So like I said, hopefully that is the case. But yeah, we are working on a farmhouse style build today for this collab. This was actually all Pastella's idea. When we were talking about and tossing around some ideas for what we would be doing for the collab, I believe it was her that initially said that farmhouse could be a style that we could do because, you know, suburban or, you know, just like a family style home is one that we've both done here recently. And a farmhouse is one that I don't think either of us have ever built before. So this was kind of fun. I'm really excited to see what she does with the interior as well, because as you can probably see, the exterior is what I'm putting together today, and that was my responsibility for this part of the collab. I was to do the exterior, the landscaping, and a little bit of the floor plan. So that was kind of what we did as far as, you know, what you'll be seeing today in this video. Of course, I highly encourage you to go and watch Pastella's video as well, because she has the massive job of furnishing this big old house, and I'm really excited to see how she does with it. And I'm excited to see her furnishing style, because she's really kind of just here recently started to come in her own as far as speed builds go on her channel. And I've really been enjoying watching her kind of progress into the world of the speed build and really kind of exploring her furnishing style and things like that. And so yeah, guys, like I said, I highly encourage that you come on over with me after you watch this video to Pastella's channel and check out her video as well, because I cannot wait to see what she does with it. Just for the record, I'm probably going to say that like 110 times throughout this video, because I really genuinely am I love the idea of a collab. I'm pretty new to this whole YouTube thing, as a lot of you may know, and collabs I've always thought, ever since I was even just a viewer, you know, before I even had a channel of my own, I've always thought that collabs were the coolest thing, because it always gave me the opportunity to experience someone else's channel, usually a channel of someone who I had never heard about before, but who puts out amazing content. And so collabs are just this super fun thing, and I'm just so grateful to whoever came up with the idea of, you know, kind of going in with another YouTuber who enjoys the same things that you do and sharing an audience and all that good stuff. So that is, of course, what we're doing today. So like I said, my inspiration for this was a farmhouse build. I actually had to look up a reference photo on Pinterest. Pinterest, by the way, is a lifesaver when it comes to helping you gain inspiration for builds that are a little bit unfamiliar to you. I kind of generally understand what a farmhouse style home is supposed to look like, but I, again, had never really built one before. So I wanted to make sure I was kind of going for the right things when it came to structure and coloring for like the exterior and things like that. And also when I was putting together a little bit of the floor plan, I wanted to make sure that it kind of all made sense when it came to a farmhouse build. So Pinterest, very helpful in helping me put all these different things together to make this even somewhat look like it could be a farmhouse style build. That's actually where I came up with the idea of the darker color that you probably have seen by now on the shutters on the windows outside. That came from this reference photo, because I never would have necessarily thought that white windows with dark shutters would look good on a build of this kind, but I really ended up liking the way that it turned out as well. So I don't know, you guys have to let me know what you think as far as, you know, how you think that the build turned out in general, how close you think I got to the farmhouse style, and what you think of the coloring, because like I said, it's not something that I necessarily would have ever put together in my own brain to do, but I really like the way that it turns out. So yeah, you'll have to let me know if you've ever attempted this style, and maybe if you have, or if you like the style, what your favorite aspects of the style are. So yeah, this is actually built, just to give you some details about the build itself, this is built on a 30 by 20 lot. I did build it over in Willow Creek because I really like the world in general, especially for building. It just has a lot of pretty landscapes. So this ends up being able to be placed on a 30 by 20 lot, which, considering the size of the house, which, you know, just like push that to the side for a second. We will come back to the size of the house here in just a moment. But considering the size of the house, that didn't afford a lot of opportunity to put in space for like a backyard and things like that. So there isn't a ton of space outdoors in this house, but that is more than made up for by the amount of space that is inside this house. So speaking of that, like I said earlier, one of the really cool things about this build is that it is an 8-sim family home. Yeah, you guys heard me right. It's an 8-sim family home. You can have the maximum capacity that the Sims game allows you to have as far as members of a household go in this house. And yeah, you guys should be able to fit all of them in here, no problem. Now, I'm not exactly sure why you'd want to play with 8 Sims in a household, unless maybe if it's a household you've been playing for a long time, and perhaps you have like grandparents in that household, or maybe you have a lot of kids in the household, you know, maybe a couple parents, lots of kids, things like that, maybe a pet or two. But yeah, 8 Sims, never really done that in one of my households before. Although, to be honest with you, this build particularly kind of makes me want to try to have 8 Sims in the same household, at least for a while. I would probably go a little crazy, but it kind of does make me want to try it regardless. I don't know, might do that one of these days. I think that'd be kind of fun. But like I said, it'd probably make me crazy, so I'm not sure if I'll actually do that. But yeah, you guys will also have to let me know if you've ever played with 8 Sims in a household. I mean, is that something that you ever think you could do or would be interested in doing if you've never done it before? Regardless, this house will fit 8 Sims. This will fit, I think the idea, I'm not sure what Pastella is going to do with the actual furnishing and the interior, because that's totally up to her. But the idea that I had going into it is that this ends up having roughly one master bedroom, which of course can fit up to 2 Sims, so like the adult couple of the home, and then several smaller children's bedrooms, such as a nursery, and then a couple of children's rooms, some of which will fit 2 single beds. So all in all, this house is able to fit 8 Sims. And yeah, guys, so this is a big old family home on a pretty small lot in Willow Creek. And just as far as like budget and pack restrictions go, we both decided that we didn't really want to limit ourselves as far as either of those two factors go. So I can tell you kind of right off the bat, the exterior of the house ended up being, I want to say, somewhere between like 55 and 60,000 simoleons alone. That's just the exterior and the landscaping. So there's no telling how expensive this house is going to be when all is said and done and it's furnished, but we'll have to see how that ends up when Pastella gets her hands on it and does the furnishing. But speaking of Pastella, I keep calling her Pastella because like that's the shortened name for her channel name. So, you know, that's just kind of why I'm doing that. But I really think that she is an awesome person. We both started our channels pretty close to the same time. I think she started hers like maybe a few days to a week before I started mine. Regardless, we've kind of, at least in my mind, both kind of been with each other every step of the way. And she has been such an encouragement to me. She's always so sweet to interact with me about my videos, and we kind of bounce ideas back and forth off of each other, and we chat over in Discord and things like that. Speaking of which, she has a really cool Discord server. You should check that out. All of her information will be linked down in the description box below, including her channel, her video for this collab, and a couple of other cool things that you can use to check her out. But she is just a really sweet person, and I enjoy talking to her so much. And like I said, it's been such a good time being able to collab with her on this build, and I cannot wait to see how her personality kind of emerges in this build. Speaking of a few types of videos that she's been doing on her channel here recently, in case you would happen to not know who she is, I mentioned earlier that she's kind of been emerging into this world of speed builds and things like that. As of the date of this recording, she has put out one big old speed build on her channel. She really has just kind of broken into this whole new world, and I think she did an amazing job on it. In addition to that, she's also done quite a few cast videos, which which if you like Create-A-Sim, I don't do a ton of Create-A-Sim videos here on the channel, but I think she does really, really well with them, and I enjoy watching them, especially because they tend to be, you know, kind of nice little cute, concise videos centered around one theme, and that can be a lot of fun to watch as well. So she does a lot of cast videos on her channel in addition to builds. And then another thing that I really enjoy watching from her are her current household updates. When she first began her channel, one of the first videos that she put out was centered around a family that is her Mace family, who she has been playing in her game. I don't exactly remember how long she said she, you know, in real time has been playing this family, but she has progressed several generations into this family in her own personal gameplay. And that is so impressive to me because it is so rare for me to move past more than just a couple of generations with any one particular family, unless like I would happen to be doing a challenge or something like that. So she has some really cool stuff over on her channel. Again, I highly recommend that you go and check her out through the links down in the description and show her some love, guys. If you haven't experienced her channel before, go check her out and kind of get the continuation, you know, the completion of what this build is going to look like when it reaches its full potential after she furnishes it. So yeah, I will look forward to seeing you over in her video after this one goes live. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how that all turns out. So I don't remember if I mentioned this at the start of the video, but I do a little bit of cutting out of things as is typical with a speed build, although I did tend in this video to leave in a little bit more than I normally do with my speed builds because it is only the exterior. I wasn't really pressed for time, which was kind of nice because you guys do get to see me do the vast majority of the landscaping, and if not all of the landscaping. I forget exactly now how much I cut out of all that, but anyways, a lot of the landscaping is in, all of like the papering, a lot of the structure of the house was left in. And then one kind of fun thing that I left in this video that I don't believe I've ever left in on any of my videos is the lighting. So I actually left in me putting in all of the lighting for the house, which was kind of fun. I always do this, we're not even quite there yet, but it's coming up here in just a minute. I always do that, like as far as putting in specific lighting so that the house looks just as good in the nighttime as it does during the day. But I don't typically leave that in because it takes way too long, and usually it's a couple of extra minutes of footage that just really makes my speed builds far too long. Because if you would happen to be new to my channel, welcome, first of all, Standing Simmer. My name is Mariah. You can call me Mariah, that's fine. But I am a very slow builder. I like to think that with time I'll get a little bit more efficient and I'll learn more tricks, but I'm very slow right now, and I like to take my time. I like to put in the details, and I like experimenting with styles I'm not familiar with. All of those things mean that I tend to take forever and a day when it comes to my speed builds. So I tend to cut out things like lighting and repetitive landscaping and things like that. But because this is a lovely exterior build, you get to see the vast majority of it. So I think that was kind of fun. So yeah, guys, here in just a moment, we will be jumping into the screenshots. One last reiteration, I would love for you to join me over on Pastella's channel and visit the interior of this build. And yeah, super excited to see, once again, I told you I was gonna say this a lot. I'm super excited to see what she does with it. So thank you so much for joining me today here on my channel. I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon.
I'm so happy.